in Pennsylvania. It's not here by mistake. It's because this is a mecca of hardcore, you know? Other places have been a mecca of hardcore. Some places are for a minute and they fall off. Some places, you know, are slow and steady, but like this has always been a mecca for hardcore. This is what we built this shit here, you know what I mean?
You don't talk about hardcore without talking about Pennsylvania. It's just, it's not feasible.
Remember there was just like ridiculous bar fight where some dude got his head smashed in with a bar stool. That was my first exposure to like the way Philadelphia deals with things.
Well, Out to Win originally started as Mushmouth back in '95. It was actually spawned from a joke, really. You know, a bunch of us sitting around here in Reading in my apartment, you know.
Big Red, Wide Eye, FOD, you know, Autistic Behavior, all these different bands, you know, around that were in Philly, like 1982 to 84. We had Center City, South Street, also West Philadelphia, which was the CEC Center.
Boston, New York, DC, Jersey. I mean, Pennsylvania is the heart of the East Coast as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Pennsylvania, the best thing I remember about Pennsylvania is CC's. It's probably our first out-of-state show ever. Explosive shows, unlimited fucking beer, tons of fucking pizza, and I think we were maybe 19.
Really?
Doesn't get any better than that.
Pennsylvania was the first time we really ever played out.
New Year's 1992, I decided I didn't want to drink anymore for a New Year's resolution. Then that summer, decided to say, well, I guess I sort of said straight edge while I was in high school. So people didn't like me because of it. They thought I was straight edge drinker or a snitch or whatever, weirdo. So I kind of got down there.
CC's was real important. I mean, it was constant shows. Every weekend, we would be there no matter what. We didn't even know who was playing, and it was sometimes we'd go up there and be surprised.
I naturally was just attracted to the punk rock movement and just not giving a fuck about anything ever.
And that set it off. And it was fucking nuts, like full on riot in Stalag. The cops showed up with like shields and batons and stuff. There was dudes with dogs, crusty pups and pit bulls. There was a guy outside, like he'd set a dog on someone, you know. And we were like,
and you know what was weird for me? Allentown, all the Nazis. You little kids have no idea what it was like. We used to start going to all the Nazi skinheads because you were lucky. You had a shaved head. This guy always had hair, and it was
That
weird.
didn't make me safe.
Yeah, and you would go up, you know, City Gardens, you know, Airport Bingo Hall. You'd walk up to them, or they'd walk up to you, and they'd have like white known, you know, war, you know, flyers, and you had to take it. If they didn't, they fucked you up.
Philadelphia has been really great to us just in general, like, I mean, some of the best shows we've ever done, but like really, like further out in the state was kind of onto us. Like the first shows I remember playing where I'm like, yo, I think people are starting to get us. We're at like Lansdale and like Phoenixville and stuff like that.
You never lose it as far as I'm concerned. There's always something in you about this music that you love, and that's a part of it. You know, and I like that. That's what I keep for myself. You know, like there's a part of hardcore that's in me and taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about friendship, a lot about loyalty. You know,
to see bands take the floor. You know, like they get on the floor and start.
We based our whole thing on violence, which, you know, everyone needs a gimmick, and people love violence. So, I mean, we wanted to get as hardcore as we could get. That's where we took it.
Going south was a whole different world back then. You know, Philly was a different world back then. You know, we're talking about like, it was like, it's so fucking pasteurized right now, man. The way, like when you walk down the street back in 1982 or 83, and you had a bald head and like an army jacket, you were fucked.
He's produced a lot of great bands, you know. Maybe some of my favorites would be Mushmouth and Out to Win. Definitely one of my favorites. Crunch back in the day, one of my favorites. I was really psyched to see Dysphoria. I don't think I've seen them niggas for like 20 years. I don't think I've seen that same drum set that is ever the same, you know?
We were like, what the fuck? And there was this, I can't remember his name. We have it on film where somebody jumps over somebody, like, cracks a kid in the face, and just starts this whole big fucking thing. And there's like, then Bad Luck goes on, there's like holes in the walls and bats in the fucking wall.
But CC's was awesome because it was like Stroudsburg kids, Scranton kids, and it was a really good mix of people. Really credit Crutch for a lot of that with us because we're definitely friends with Crutch. And they got us on a bunch of shows and stuff like that.
I think it's overrated. It's with everything. It's not like, like the stories you heard back in the early '80s, like out in the West Coast with like Germ shows and Dead Kennedy shows and stuff like that. It's, here in the mid '80s we had like the skinhead violence going on. I remember like shows at Pizzazz like getting stupid there, and even at the Y there were some stupid incidents there. But
Lifeless was a mix of two bands. There's Denberry and it was this other band called One These Days End, which is what Kyle, Michael, and Ryan were all in. And me and Jay were in Dead and Buried at the time. Oh, did I mosh the fucking audio thing? I moshed the audio thing. Hardcore.
I remember the first time I went to see a show at the Stalag, I was just mind blown, baffled about how I was at like basically a abandoned apartment building and seeing like Voice Heads Fire, like Converge and Turmoil and all these bands that were just like, how does this happen,
It's quite an extravaganza, these shows. We got kicked out of just out of every good club in this city, that's for sure. And most of the time it was for like almost setting it on fire or Jimmy blowing stuff up. And, but the Friends one was a good one because that guy was a total fucking asshole.
Those friends outside the hardcore scene will never understand, but that's okay. I know any of them, my friends from hardcore will do anything, they'll be anywhere I need them to. And that's hopefully something like this documentary will help make people realize that it's not just about the music, it's not just about, like people always portray this as a violent sort of scene, and it's not really about that.
Pennsylvania hardcore, hardcore in general, has shown me more love and that I ever earned or ever deserved. It's been the most gratifying thing. It gave me confidence, it gave me spirit, it gave me everything I needed to get through. It taught me so many things that I didn't expect to come from any of that.
Hardcore has a special place for me that will not leave ever. Everything that was instilled in me from that time of the age of 13 until when I was like 22, when I finally moved on to a different, different scene, that is instilled in me. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be instilled in my kids when I have my kids.
We were originally in a band called Legion of Decency, and we played the very first hardcore show in Philadelphia at the Love Hall. I think it was us, Little Gentlemen, and from there, it just went crazy.
We got our practice studio in Lansdale, and that's when we just kind of started focusing on Lansdale. There was a lot of people there would go out to live shows. And
Earth Crisis has been coming to Pennsylvania since probably 1992, all the way up until today. I remember doing a lot of great shows at like CC's and Music, played with Turmoil and Crutch, 25 to Life, Strength for Reason, and we came down like at the beginning and we'd see Conviction, and they were definitely one of our favorite bands.
The original Satanic Rave, I showed up too late. I saw the cops beating on my friends. I saw fireworks going off, being shot at cops. And the rest is history, man.
CC's was awesome. It was, everyone knows, from Northeast Pennsylvania, it was just a dive spot. The owner, Vince, was a character. His old dad would sit by the door, ornery old dude.
Hey, I'm PA, baby, all the way.
Hey, keep it going, keep it real. Keep the hardcore going. Awesome. I'm glad I'm part of it.